Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to week 44 of the DC Sports Digest. Another busy week for the Nats and Commanders. So without further ado, let's just get started with the Nats, who they started by losing the Phillies series. They did win the Rockies series and then lost the first game of the Braves series in extra innings last night. They are not good in extra innings. But there were some positives this week. We saw Patrick Corbin get his 100th win and had probably one of his best games this season, which is good to see. And then the big news is Dylan Cruz is getting called up, and his first game is Monday against the Yankees. He's batting like 270 in AAA, so really great to see him get called up. I don't know if anyone was really expecting it. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that, and we're also going to be playing Juan Soto again. So might want to. I've heard people are saying they're going to start some comeback Soto chants, and maybe that's part of the reason Dylan Cruz got called up, to see if Soto wants to play in an outfield of James Wood and Dylan Cruz, but I don't know. I don't want to think about that right now. Don't want to get in over my head about that scenario. So this week we have the Braves series finishing there, the Yankees series with Dylan Cruz's debut, and then the Cubs series starts at the end of this week. And that's all for the Nats. Wizards and Caps, I don't think I have any news. The Commanders, I have a lot of news. They started off with a preseason loss to the Dolphins. Pretty ugly game, but Jay Nails played really well, which is the biggest thing, most important thing, and he will not be playing tomorrow against the Patriots, which makes sense. A lot of transactions, not really going to go over them too much. A lot of it's just based on like needs for the preseason game, since like a lot of people aren't going to be playing. But we did have two pretty big trades. The first one was acquiring Cade York from the Browns for a conditional seventh, which I think, as long as he plays for us, that turns into a seventh round pick for the Browns. So obviously that's a great trade. He's a very young kicker, but he has a good leg, and obviously Riley Patterson wasn't cutting it. So definitely glad we got a kicker for pretty much nothing as well. So that was a good trade. And then we had this controversial trade, which I don't think is as bad as some people think. We traded Jahan Dotson and a fifth to the Eagles for a third and 2/7. If you saw, I made a YouTube short about this because I just wanted to, address it, because a lot of people did not like this trade for us, but I personally do. I'll just reiterate again. Jahan Dotson was going to be our wide receiver 4 behind Terry, De'Ami Brown, and Olamide Zaccheaus. So, like, if he was living up to his potential and was our set in stone wide receiver 2, obviously we wouldn't trade him. But I think that's a good move. We got a third, and that leads me into the Ayuk update, because a lot of people were thinking, oh, maybe we go back to get Ayuk, which I think we do, and I think we might be back on the table for that. But apparently it got out, I think, recently that, like, the reason we got out of the Ayuk sweepstakes is because the 49ers either wanted Terry McLaurin or a first-round pick, that is way too much of an overpay for Brandon Ayuk, especially since you have to give him a contract extension and pay him almost $30 million a year. And also you have to give up your best wide receiver or a first-round pick, which is ridiculous. My opinion, I would give a second and then 2/3. We got third from the Eagles and then our third-round pick for Ayuk. I wouldn't give up much more than that. So we'll see what happens, see if Adam Peters can renegotiate and try to get Brandon Ayuk here, because I feel like, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Because after the 49ers, I think we're the next most likely, and then the Steelers also could happen, and it's a crazy saga, and it's kind of ridiculous. I hope whatever happens, it ends soon. And yeah, tomorrow we have our final preseason game against the Patriots. Not too much to watch for, because Jay Daniels, most of the stars aren't playing, but there are a couple more roster battles and rotational battles to figure out. So there's some stuff to watch, but overall not too crazy. Then also this week we have cut day, where the rosters go down to 53, and also waiver wire, which will be really important for us, because since we had the second worst record last year, we will be second in the waiver wire. So if there's any positions, like depth positions, and we can pick someone up, I think that'd be great. Could maybe pick up another wide receiver if Ayuk doesn't happen. Maybe another corner, because our corner room is not looking too good besides Sanders still. So yeah, I think we should definitely take advantage of the waiver wire. And yeah, see what happens this next week for the Commanders. And then other DC sports news: the Mystics lost the Lynx and Storm, but beat the Sparks. They're kind of selling, which makes sense. They've only won 7 games this year. Traded Maisha Hines-Allen to the Lynx for a 2026 second-round pick and 2 players, and then also acquire another guard from Phoenix Mercury and a third-round pick. So yeah, they're just kind of selling. Honestly, maybe wasn't good to win that last game because they're still trying to get Paige Beckers, but I think there's only 2 teams behind them right now for that sweepstakes of the worst record this year. So we'll see what happens. They have games against the Storm and the Sky coming up. Washington Spirit lost a friendly game against Arsenal, and they have a game against Kansas City tomorrow. And then, this is a mistake. This is supposed to be for tonight. DC United has a game against FC Dallas tonight. And yeah, I think that's all I have this week. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.